Hey everyone, I am one half of the BlahCade Pinball podcast, Jared Morgan. You might know me from the other guy that's not in the US. I am going to be doing a real-time unboxing of the X-Arcade Tank Stick Pro ARCADE2TV-XR controller. This thing, yeah, it's pretty big. And I want to see from when it turns up on your door to when you can actually set it up and start using it, how long it would actually take to assemble. Because there is some assembly risk required with it. So I figured, let's see how long it takes from end to end. And along the way, I'll share some insights that I've got with it as we're sort of unboxing it. And if I see anything cool or a little bit weird with the setup instructions, I'll tell you about it on the video. So let's get started. I'll just get the camera set up down there like that. So you'll see there's two boxes, box one and box two. They are big, so I can see where the shipping money goes for with this. They're big, bulky boxes, and they are not light. The stand box is about 19 kilograms, so nearly 20 kilograms alone. And that box, if I have a look at the parcel shipping label on it, tells me that it is 13. So that's yeah, a fair bit of weight, right? So let's get stuck in. I'm going to move the chair out of the way. I won't be editing this, so what you see is what you get. I've got a selection of tools over here that I think I may or may not need. I'm not sure. I've got my DeWalt toolkit with, like, ratchets and stuff in there, just in case we need to tighten bolts, although I'd imagine that something like this will probably just come with Allen keys, and it should be pretty easy to set up. So I think what I'm going to do first is set the stand up, because you need something to put things on. So let's get that going. Right. So thing's pretty securely packed. There's a big tape seal around the entire thing. That's reasonably easy to get off. All right. Okay, so a whole lot of stuff in here, right? So we've got obviously the instruction bag, big set of bolts. So it's like one of those classic, make it yourself kits. So it does actually have all the tools you need. But for something like that, while it's probably okay, I'll just be using my sockets because, well, they're probably a bit easier. But it does come with all you need to assemble. So you don't have to buy any more tools, which is cool. Okay, so what I should probably do is, as a technical writer, read the instructions. So this should show me how to set the thing up. Okay. Yep, it says all the usual things you would find in an instruction manual. It has quite a nice blown apart diagram of the entire assembly, just in case you lose your way. So there's plenty of information there. It does suggest that two people should assemble it, but it's only me, so I'm going to try doing it myself and see how I go. I will discard their warning, throw it to the wind, and see how far I get. I know Chris has done his by himself, so let's see how I go. Okay, says here's the card. These are all the pieces. So I think the first thing I'll do is take the pieces out of the box, and we'll get those done, laid out so we can see what we've got. So there's a top sheet. We've got what look like, oh, that's nice. So already I see that from a construction perspective, they've actually got numbers on them. So that's really cool. Assemble by number, which, that one's 7, that one's 6, so you're not going to get them mixed up. Nice instructional design there. I really like that. That is part number 3. And we've got part 13, just a plate. This one has another plate in it, very similar to that one. Both of those are 13, so they're a common part. We've got feet. So these are rubberized feet, nice and easy. And the required brackets for them in there as well. So these ones are the ones that look like they will go on the front. So nice. These ones are metal. All right, next we got the very cool Perspex sign that comes with the thing. This one, you would have seen it on Chris's video in this background, but it's actually got a X-Arcade frosted panel in it, and this one actually lights up, and it's got a little plug input there that you can use to connect it up inside the harness when you plug this thing in. So you have this really nice sort of glowing thing in your arcade room that looks really top quality. So we'll put that over there for now, leave that face down. We have got a couple of very sturdy hand screws. So they will be tightening things up. These will probably be adjusting the up and down position of where the controller sits. So these are really nice, chunky, got a slightly soft feel to them. So it's quite nice. Then there is another two as well. Actually, these could be feet, I reckon. Yeah, these are big enough to be feet. So there's 4 of them. I think they're feet for leveling. They've got a fair bit of thread. So probably in American parlance, they're probably about 3/4 of an inch. In Australian or metric, it's probably, I don't know. It's definitely at least 3 or 4 centimeters of thread. So you've got a good amount of adjustment there. And we have rolly things. I don't know what these are. We'll find out as we assemble. Right, so plenty of plastic, plenty of padding. Like the thing is really well packed, which is very good. We'll discard all those, put them over to the side. Pay no attention to the pile of waste on the side. All right. We have got number 1. I'm putting all these up face down in front of me here. A few that are off the camera over here because I've got this nice big area under the desk, but they're all face up so I can see the numbers. Number 2. And then we've got the big side struts by the looks of things. Yeah, these have got lots of little notches in them for putting things in. Man, they're like really sturdy. The noise cancelling might not be picking that up, but they are chonky. All right. Number 12. So this is the other side, obviously. 11. Number 12. And then the lowest layer. There's actually 3 layers in the thing. They've packed it really economically, but sturdily at the same time. Not saying economically means poor quality. I mean that economically means that they've really laid it out well in here when they're doing shipping. And, oh yes, they must have known. Hockey sticks, right? Okay, number 9. That one is. So 2 hockey sticks. And it's part number 5. And part number 4. So they are keyed for difference. So when you're assembling, you're not going to screw it up. Well, you're not if you're not going to follow the instructions, right? Okay, so that's the box done. Yeet. Let's go and follow the instructions. So it says, So on the assembly list on the side, it has numbered parts. So I'm looking for part number 4. Yes, and it actually has a breakdown of what part you're looking for there. So the 2 assemblies you need to do. And it wants you to insert part 4 into part 11 and part 6 into part 9. Okay. So part 4, that's this, into part 11. Now I'm looking at screw holes here. So I would imagine those screw holes line up with these screw holes, probably. Look at that. Nice. So the size, that's about, I don't know, I'd say probably close to a meter in height. Like, that's high, right? Right. Now it wants, in that one, screw type 17, which are handily color coded, well, step coded, step 1. So you know exactly what ones you need when you're doing step 1. So I'll just slice those open and get those out. I'm also going to slice the tool out at this stage as well. Just using a regular box cutter here, nothing fancy. Right. Get that one out. Oh, it's putting up a fight. I'm going to have to use extra cutting. There we are. Good. Yeet. And what I can only really describe as like a little battle axe thing. It's a socket set, but if you don't have one, but that's fine. So it wants these 2 screws in here. I'll bring this out a bit more so you can see. I'm going to laze on the floor because my knees are killing me. Thread these in a little bit just so they take. You don't want to cross thread them. That. Thread them in lightly. If you're not sure if you can get a screw in, you can always turn them the other way until they click. They make a little clicking noise, and that shows you that it's actually gone in and it's not going to cross thread when you screw them in. So that's a bit of a tip. When you're doing assembly, let's get the good old Allen key out. Take them for a spin. 1. 2. Yeah, pretty good. Give them a bit of finger tightness. I feel like when I'm doing these up, they feel like they have a fair bit of meat to the threads. So I don't think you're going to have any problems with stripping them if you over tighten them. They feel very, very sturdy. So that's one of the struts done. Pop that over there for now. We'll get that one, this one, and just repeat the process. Slap together. Now, there and there. Checking the numbers, number 12 and number 5. Actually, that's not right, and that's why you check. We want yeah. Insert part 4 into part 11 and part 6 into part 9. Well, that's right. Oh yeah, part 6, part 9. Looks like it would be going there. It's good. It wants the same type of screw. This is light tighten. They line up pretty much perfectly. Nice. That's good. That's done. So that's one curved piece and one straight piece that we've assembled now. That's good. Now we're going to assemble the base, which is this big chunky number 3 piece. Man, this thing, you could do someone an injury with this thing. It's big. All right, so I'm going to put that one over here. And it would like part 1 and part 2, which are these two. Okay, so there's a big side. See how there's big screws, and there's a small side there. So obviously the big side is where you put the big bolts. And it tells me, if I look at the part reference, that I need a number 17 bolt, which I already have out. And I need, those are the same ones that we were assembling the other ones with, and there's 4 of those here, which we'll need. All right, so this is not keyed in any way. You can just put it however you wish. This, however, does have a side that you need to look at, and it requires that there are 2 holes like that and that, like those 2, not these ones. Need to go down because these are where the legs go, by the looks of things. So let's line these up. I think the way we'll do this one is we'll introduce the screw into the hole with this. And that will make it quite a bit easier. If this doesn't work, I have a backup plan. It does work because the Allen key is quite a good fit, which is very nice. All right, so we'll just one in, loosely done up. So we have the other one for alignment. Very nice. The other one in too. Give it a spin. There we go. Looking good. Give these a nice tighten. It does say leave them a little bit loose, so we won't do them up all the way, because what will happen is when you put this on your floor, depending on where you put it, you might have a bit of an uneven floor, and this will help with that. So leave them just a bit loose, and now you can turn it upside down. And the other way you can do these screws, if you're not really confident with getting them in the hole, is put the screw on the end like that, find the hole and the alignment that you want. So in this case, like that. Yep. So you want it like, you want the legs down. Well, that's interesting. Oh yeah, no, I see what it wants. So, yes, I had my orientation all wrong in my mind, not in the instructions. So push it through so it protrudes. See that? And then you can find the hole really easily if you're having trouble fishing around in there and trying to get it. So that'll make it a little bit easier for you to put it in, like that. And this one should go in nicely because you've got everything lined up. Give it a spin. And remember, as the instructions say, leave it loose. And you'll be able to level it when you get everything put together. So that's quite loose. Still, it's good. Okay, so that's that sub-assembly done. We're now going to assemble the center frame, which gives everything its strength so it doesn't wobble around. And the center frame also holds the sign. So I'm going to gently place that down there. We'll get our sign. Now, obviously, there's 2 ways this can go. There's only one right way. That's up, not like that. So you want to make sure you get the alignment right. And the instructions say that we need the ones for step 3 here. And these are step 2, 3, and 5. So it's got step 2.3.5, which means there's enough bolts to do all these steps, which is great. So let's go and slice open this packet. They're all the same. They're still all M8s, but they've just separated them all out into separate blocks, so you don't have to worry about missing any, which is very nice. So for this one, I only need 4, so I'm just taking 4 out of the packet now. Leave them all in there so you don't mix them up. 13 goes on the left-hand side with the X-Arcade image facing out. And it wants it so the bracket is inside like this. So the easiest way to do that, put it on its end, find the hole, screw it in lightly. That gives you something to hang on to. The other one lightly. And it says to leave 1 to 2 threads loose. So it needs to be quite floppy. Because again, this is where you are going to be tightening things up. When everything is together and it's upright, you want to make sure that you don't overcrank things so it's all wobbly when you put it on the floor. I think probably it's going to be more of a problem if you're putting this onto like a hard floor, like tiles or something like that. I've got carpet up here in the studio North Lakes, so it won't be a problem for me. But that's nice and floppy. And now you have that all lined up like that. See? So both of the ends are like that. Looking good. Now, that assembly is done. Now it wants us to assemble the rack. So the center frame, this bit here, holds everything together. So it wants us to put the first bit down first. So there's 2 parts to this. You've got this bit, your big long hockey stick, and then the extra long wacky hockey stick. They go together with the X-Arcade logo facing towards the user, which is me. I am the user. So I need to have the X-Arcade logo facing towards me, which it does. And then it says position the center frame from step 3 with the X-Arcade logo facing toward user and the side plate on the floor. Side plate on the floor. X-Arcade thing facing towards the user. Right, now the large one with the less kinky bits on it goes in the back. And that matches up very nicely because, as you can see, the little channel that goes in here, it tells you pretty much which thing goes where. So this one wants to just stay there for now. I think you think it might actually want a nut or something to be put in yet, but not yet. So we need to cool our jets because there's actually nut holes there and there, which I think a very, very long bolt that we're about to have a look at will go into. Now, this one goes in like that, and it will line up with the same holes. So there's a hole there, and as I slide it through, it matches up with these 2 holes here either side. So you sort of start to see it come together when it goes like this. So X-Arcade is facing toward the user. So I would say that when they say toward the user, this is actually the back. So this long one is the back, and this big heavy one here is the front. You would think it might be the other way around, but when you're having this X-Arcade logo facing towards you, this really heavy bit here will be the bit that you're actually sort of leaning up against. Well, not leaning up against, but it's going to be the front of it. Okay. Now, it does say that we need long bolts. So I'm going to slice open the ones from step 4 now. I'm going to take 2 long bolts. We're going to thread those through the holes until we see them pop through the other side. And now that we've got one lined up, the second one should be a piece of case. I'm not even going to look when I do it, because that one's all the way through. Oh, I'm making a liar out of myself. I do need to have a look, because it's a skill issue. That one's just proven to be just a little bit off on the hole there. Yeah. Nearly got it. Oh, not going through at all. Let's see why. Do I have daylight? Is there daylight? There we go. Just needed a little change in position so I could find the hole there, I think. The struggle continues. I'm missing something there. I'm just going to see if I can roll it over again and have a look. Yeah. See perhaps if I need to screw that one down a little bit. Get my Allen key. I think it might just be a little bit too high up. No, I'm struggling with this bit. And it's saying I need 2 19s going through there. So what I'm going to do, get this one out, see if I can actually see daylight through it. And I should be able to, yeah. So that one I can see daylight through, but this one I can't. So why? Because and I'll tell you why, I haven't got it down far enough. So the leg, the reason why I was struggling so much with that is because this leg wasn't down quite as far as it needed to be. There's always a reason why something doesn't fit. So, like me, if you're ever in a position and something just doesn't feel right, there's probably a reason why. And you should investigate that first before you start shoving things where they shouldn't be shoved. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to break something. So, always a good idea to just slow down, take a stock of what's going on, and then you'll be all good in the hood. So for me, I'm just going to make sure that lines up. Yep. Find that bolt hole, line up just like that. Very nice. Now that's gone through. This one as well now goes through perfectly. Too easy. Okay, it's going to want some nuts. So let's put some nuts in. All right, so the nuts are Loctite nuts. So once you put them on, they've got a bit of nylon in them, which will stop them from undoing. So I'm going to loosely put them on here like that. Yep, they're threading on nicely. And then I'm going to use the battle axe to do this bit, because that's what you get in the kit. So that does make sense. And I think the best thing to do, you might be tempted to go, oh, I'll just use this thing and I'll, like, you know, go like this and tighten them up like that. But the thing I found is quite useful is that if you, rather than doing that, use the Allen key to turn and this to hold, then you'll be able to do it up a lot easily. So again, it's telling me exactly what to do here, and with everything else, we want to leave everything so it's got a bit of play in it, so we can do it uptight later on. So let's do that. So the Allen key on one side, spinning it around, nice and easy. There's a bit of play, not too much, just a bit. Do the same for this one. Yeah. Again, rattly is good in this case. Right. So it wants me to do the same sort of process with the other one as well. So now we've got the part of the subassembly done like that. So that would be how it would be sitting up. You got the sign facing you, nicely sloped. These little racks all line up beautifully, so you have adjustment points for the actual thing when you're sliding it down. Very nice. Right. Let's stop the yakking and do the next bit. So same thing again. We're going to get these two. Going to put the screws into there. They're the same ones, number 17s, M8s. Put those in. And we'll do the same for the other one as well while we're here. Put this down. These ones can be done up tight because they're basically one position only, so that's fine. They don't need any sort of adjustment done to them. You can do these ones up with a fair bit of force, not too much obviously, but just enough. And then you got the other one, same thing. The tang goes in here like that, locks into place. A couple of M8s go in there as well. I'll get this on the screen here. Look, you know, if you've ever assembled IKEA furniture before, even something simple from IKEA, you won't have any problem with this. This is actually pretty easy. The instructions are clear too, which is actually really important. You can read instructions. You read the instructions once, then you read them again, then you do it. If you're unsure, you never go wrong. All right, so we've got our legs done. Same thing, except in reverse. So that one like this. We know that these ones will need to face inwards, and we want that bit down there. We know that our screw holes must match up. That all looks good. Same goes for this one. Needs to kick out, and the screws need to be there. Very nice. And we need the 2 bolts. Excellent. Now, don't be tempted when you got it flipped upside down to go in this way with the bolts, because the nuts are on this side here, not on this side. So you want to just check yourself before you wreck yourself and make sure that you're putting the bolts in the right place. Again, if you're having trouble finding the bolts, just lift up the assembly here. You'll be able to see where the bolts are and slide them down. Introduce it in. That. Beautiful. Same on this side. Make sure you got it lined up. And I can verify that I have. Wiggle it in, and you find your hole. And now you've got one in. You'll be able to find your second one real easy. You see what I did there? I just pinched this metal to line everything up a little bit better too. That might help you. And same on this side. Pinch and shove it through like that. Beautiful. Okay, 2 nuts. 1 and 2. And I think I will still do it facing down like this. Definitely. Oh man, it's starting to get heavy now. No joke. It's pretty heavy right about now. So I'll get these nuts on. Using the battle axe. Find the right hole. Start turning the nut back. You might even find it's easier to put this up on a, just put it up on a, not a table, but like some sort of, just lean it up on the surface a little bit so you get a bit of movement and you can get this Allen key around. But it's not even that hard. This one still spins. So that certainly meets the brief as far as having play in the build for now until we get level. Okay. Cranking this one up now. These ones are quite stiff because you're going into a nylon nut here, but not too hard. All right, so that's the main stand assembly all set up now. So now what we need to do, we need to stand the assembly up. Here we go. We need to check it for correct assembly. Oh, what a beast. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty wobbly still, which is what it's telling us to do. So that's no problem. Everything is lined up. You'll see that all these lines here line up with each other, so that's looking good. The X-Arcade logo is facing outwards, which is what it's asked us to do. It now wants us to go and put the base to the rack. Now this base that we've did a bit of assembly on before is the bit that's going to give it a lot of lateral strength. So we're going to lay this down like this. I'm just making a bit of room for it because it's rather big, like that. Yeah. There we are. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in here, I mean, even this thing is heavy, far out. All right. So you've got a big side there and there. That's going to be where you put the threaded bolts to give you ease of access, right? And the picture's saying that on these long legs here, the ones that kick out at the back, that's the short edge of this assembly here. So when you do it, it's sort of going to be looking like that, right? So it's kind of going to be pretty much aligned at the front and have a little bit of overhang at the back to give it that little bit of extra stability, which I think is a brilliant idea. So let's go and get the fun card. We've got 4 bolts left. So that's a good sign. We put the bolts where we should have put the bolts, which is always good at this point of the assembly. And this one, because it's sort of sloping up like this, I think if I'm doing this singly, you would have someone here. If you're doing this to 2 people, you would have someone holding that in place for you like that so you can get the alignment right. But if you're doing this single like me, you want to pre-thread your bolt, insert the bolt through the end so it is sticking out the top, just like that. You want to bring this up. You want to find the screw hole. Take your time, just finding the thread. That. And just giving it 4 or 5 rotations. If you give it 4 or 5 rotations, that's going to give enough meat in the bolt to hold this in place, so it's not going to flop around. And then you can go and do the same on the other side. So thread your nut, find a level, Stick the bolt through so you can see it. You should already have a bit of an idea where it goes. And then start winding it in like that. 4 and 5. And now you've got that frame pretty much in a reasonable position, right? So now it's just a matter of doing the same thing on the bottom, but you've got the frame sort of lined up where it needs to be. And now you can just go into the bottom here, and sure as eggs, everything is lined up nicely. Stick the bolts through. And what I had to do there was stretch it slightly. And this is exactly why they want you to have the assembly done loosely, because you want to be able to have that flexibility to find the screw holes without like scraping the threads on your screw. So make sure you do a loose assembly on this when you're putting it together. All right. Now I'm just bending down here to find that screw hole. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to go all the way in with this one. Now I think it's still asking us here to keep the assembly loose. Yep, leave the screws slightly loose, because when it's going to be sitting level on the floor, all these things need to be moving around so you can get the level right. Okay. Now I think I'm going to do this up. So the one carpet here, they're going to be moving around a fair bit anyhow. Okay. That one's quite tight. That's very nice too. The Allen keys are perfect size for these holes, so not going to have any problem there. Same with this one here. Yep, it's tight, which leaves this one nice and tight too. Yeah, it really does goes together very convincingly, I gotta say. All right, the base is on. Looks pretty sturdy to me. Okay, right, so now we need to put the assembly up on its legs again. And you're starting to get an idea of what this thing looks like in practical sense, right? So if I stand up, it comes to here on me, and I'm like, what is it, 6'3" in the old numbers, or 183, 184 centimeters. So, you know, it's tall, right? Really tall. All right, so this is on a flat surface, even though it's carpet. But it's my flat surface, given that this is where I'm going to be setting up. It's actually going to go right there in the corner. So what it's going to tell us to do now is, once it's on a flat surface, it wants us to tighten the 4 screws on the side of the pedestals. And this is step 6, so we're not step 7 yet. So it wants these ones to be tightened, like this. So that's where we're going to need the battle axe again. And we're going to use this standing up. And we're going to give all the strength running through this panel, like this. And the bottom one as well. That. Yep, those are nicely done up. We'll do the same for these ones. bottom one. Like that. Yep, that's not going to go anywhere. Nice and tight. So those 4 screws are done up. And then wants us to then tighten the 4 screws on each side of the pedestal base down the bottom here. So now I think what it wants you to do is do this actually on the floor. So you'd have it down here like that. And you would be using the Allen key with the long edge facing towards you, like this, and just hand torquing those up until you feel resistance on them, like that. And I won't flip it around, but I'll do the same on the other side. That. It's nice and tight. It's also nice and tight. Okay. So that's these lateral ones and these ones in the bottom. And tighten the 4 screws at the front of the pedestal with screws as shown. Oh, we've done that. Done that. And we've got to tighten all 8 screws on the 4 side tubes, which are these ones on the inside. So if I go like that, these are all these ones that run along the bottom where the 2 halves were joined. So we're going to do that. These are already tightened because I just did them up anyhow, but I'll just check the assembly to make sure that they're all done. They are all showing as quite nicely torqued. Yep, no need to do anything more with those. And then wants us to lay the pedestal flat on the ground. So I'll spin it around this way. And it wants us then, this would be the step if I was doing it. I've already done it because I cheated. You would lay the pedestal down on the ground and then do those 4 leg bolts either side here, torque those up as well. But the most important thing in doing that in order is that this bit stays aligned, then you do the lateral bit, and then you do the underneath bit. And by doing it in that order, it's going to make sure it stays aligned properly, which is a clever way of doing it. Okay. Now, we are going to put the wheels on the bus, but on the controller, on the back. Now, the wheels that are on the back here, they go through holes that are, by the looks of things, we'll lay it down. So I didn't need to lay it down after all. That's fine. Trying to avoid it because it's like heavy as. Right. That's cool. So there's a little thread hole right there, really small. You probably wouldn't even pick it up on the camera if I showed it to you, but it's basically right there in the picture. So like right at the very end of the back of the thing. And that's where these spindles go in. So these spindles go there like that, and they act as wheels that help you move this behemoth of a controller around. And it just so happens that step 7 is the final step in the process. And I only have 2 bolts left, which is a good sign. So no more bolts left in that. Yeet. Put that in there like that. Find the through hole. I'm just going to hand thread these to start with. Like that. Same with this side too. There's no wrong way of putting these on. They're just round bits of plastic, so you don't need to worry about what side they go on. Something like that. It's a rainy old day here in Brisbane. It's a good day to be putting together controllers. So, All right. So these do tighten up, but there's actually a little bit of play in the wheel so that they spin nice and easily. So you'll do these up tightly and they'll bite, but the wheel will still be loose. So if you're looking at this going, have I done it right? You have. Spins well. Okay. And the other thing we need to do is put on the C&C Music Factory gear icon. Those who know. We'll put that on here. Like that. And we'll spin it down. Now there is actually an adjustment nut on the bottom here. I'm going to take it all the way down to the adjustment nut. But the purpose of the adjustment nut is to, if you have an odd floor or it's uneven, you can use this adjustment nut that you see here that I'm spinning out to actually set the bottom position of the foot. It's a bit like on a pinball machine where you have a lock nut that locks everything into place. So you can sort of counter lock it and then it won't move in that position. That is presuming that you're not going to move this thing around though. So because that's highly likely as you try and find the right position for it, I'd probably recommend personally just not worrying about that and just turning them all the way in. Like that. Very nice one. Okay. So that technically is how you assemble the stand. This is the last step in the process. Step 8 involves me opening this big box here and putting the controller on, which I may as well do, I guess. We're here, so may as well do it. So I'll rock this up. Oh boy, that's so big. That. So yeah, the wheels will let you roll it. Probably easier if it's on like tiles, but on carpet, it sort of just drags. So not really anything, but the notch design of them does actually lock it into place on carpet, so it's not going to like twist. Not that it would anyhow, because the thing is like 20 kilograms. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to, I guess, unbox the controller now, and let's see what's inside this thing. Lightly score the surface. Open this one up. Yep. What's in the box? Well, you know, if you've watched all the other unboxing videos, you probably already know. But what's in the box? Another box! Let's get the thing out. It's big. It's heavy. Oh, yeah. That's a big boy. Right. Put that there for now. Yeet the box. Yeet. Right. Nice box. Plenty of unboxing videos about this, right? Big box. It's got a flip on it. Opens up. Nice and nice. This is just packing. Yeet. This is the important bit. Don't yeet this. It's got stuff in it that you might like foam, and also the instruction book, and a whole bunch of very, very braided, sturdy cables that you're going to be using to connect a whole bunch of stuff to a whole bunch of stuff. So the amount of accessories and stuff you get with this thing is very, very important. And here you also see the little connector cable with a little white clip that goes into the back of this thing here to connect the light switch. So the thing, I've got to say, it is huge, right? This thing is big and white and heavy as well. Like, the box itself is big enough, I'm sure that yeah, the cats of the internet will love the box. So taking off the edge pieces, undo this, take the semi-opaque the white plastic off, and it really wants me to cut it, but I'm just going to rip it because I'm an animal. That's good. Yep, this, wow, yeah, okay. Very shiny, got to say. Very, very shiny. All right. So these things here have got little pressy bits, technical term, obviously, that correspond to these notches that are on either side of the thing. So, and interestingly, those flipper buttons do not feel like micro switches, whereas actually, I think they're optical. That's what I would think they are. Okay, so it now tells me that I have to compress the spring grip at the back of the control unit to retract the locking blocks. And then we align the rectangular sliders on the control unit with the slots on the pedestal, and then we slide the unit into place. Okay, well, that all sounds cool. Let's give it a go. So, oh, far out. This thing is big, right? So there's a little slide guide. We've got to compress it. Find the little bit. We've got to compress them in so they just go over the first bit. I'm going to hold it there like that because we've got the other side to do. We've got to find the same little compressy bit on the side. And we're going to line it up. Ease it over the metal. Same with this bit. So it goes in. Oh, man. Okay. This is definitely the bit where, yeah, you can't see me. I don't think that really matters though. You know what I look like. But you'll see, here, hello. Good. So push the little things in, and there we go. It's found the first one. Oh boy, that is very, very big. Very good. All right, so now we've got that bit on, what you want to do, because that little metal plastic bit slider in the middle, right? So that thing now gets covered by the floppy rubber boys. So they go on like that to give it a neat and a tidy look, which it does. That looks very slick, very smooth. Also quite important, I think, because the metal underneath here is like quite sharp, not dangerously sharp, but it does have an edge to it. And I'd imagine that if you're in VR and you go and sort of, you'll have pass-through on, obviously, so you can see, but it's like, oh, where are my controller holes? Bang! And you'll slam yourself down on this metal bit here and have a poor time. And we don't want you having a poor time. So we want rubber bits on there to make you have a less than poor time. So put those on. Now, I already know I'm doing this out of order, but I already know that there is a whole bunch of little connectors underneath here. And one of those ones is this one here for the light up bit, right? So it looks as though there's a whole lot of cables that I need to collect now, which will mean that I will most likely need to look at the actual very thick instruction manual for the control stick and work out how everything connects on that now. But the thing to remember here is that we've got the actual stand set up. We've got the tank stick. Sorry, that's not what it's called. I'm so used to calling it the tank stick because it kind of is, but it is the it is the ARCADE2TV-XR, right? We've got that mounted, set up, and now it's just a matter of resisting the temptation to like just go nuts and start to like play it, because that's what you want to do. Oh man, it feels so good. So chunky and so good. Anyhow, we're not here about the control stick experience. Might do another video on that if I feel spicy. But yeah, this is all set up now. So I'm going to stop the video, and that is essentially the process. It's probably taken me longer to do it because I was talking about it when I was doing it. If I was just not on air, I wouldn't have to find the right camera angle and, you know, do all that sort of funky stuff. So the assembly of this thing, I think, would have taken, after reading the instructions a couple of times, no more than 20 minutes to put together and then get this thing connected. And as you can see, one person can do it, as long as the one person has a reasonable amount of strength, which I'm not like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything like that. But, you know, as long as you can hold metal bits up while you're finding screws and stuff like that, you'll be fine with this. It doesn't need two people. So, yeah, that's ready to go. And then these little bits here, I would imagine, are the things that let you move the thing up and down somehow. So I'm going to have fun playing around with those to see how they work and see how I can actually get the thing to go up and down at will. It's going to be really cool. Anyhow, that's enough for now. Stay tuned for more stuff and things, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.